Because human nature is human nature. As Nietzsche said, good and evil isn't, so I'm good and you're evil. No, no, no. The line between good and evil divides every human on this planet. You're standing on the correct side of that line. That's a human challenge that we have. Okay? That's a human challenge to stay on the right line of good and evil. Because it's yours. We have great capacity for evil. I know I do. All I have to do is think of those buggers up there, and they're not edifying thoughts, but I have to restrain that. My wife tells me more safe than I go, but I'm a soldier. And so there's this new process, a constitution, where you will decide for yourselves by whom and how you will be governed. And this is going to be fun, because you're going to have to say, the greatest good for the greatest number. And then someone will say, well, when 51% of the population understand they can vote themselves the wealth of the other 49%, you've got a problem. And they'll say, oh, I should have didn't think about that. Okay, so there's things you've got to do. Enumerated rights. Do you want enumerated rights, for example? Or do you want to reserve all rights to yourselves and you give a few to a few people, call the government to do stuff, and they can't change or adjust those rights? All rights should be reserved to you, the people, the sovereign people. And unless you actually give them the permission to do that, they can't do it. And these are discussions and decisions you are going to have to make. But we'll make sure that everybody gets a good chance. And after that, man, oh man, watch Australia take off. Yeah. Watch Australia take off. As I said, we've got everything we need in this country. Bar nothing. There's nothing we don't need. Even modern fuel sources. We've got the world's second largest reserves of thorium, which is an alternative to uranium. It's a nuclear fuel but doesn't have the disadvantage of massive half-life and nuclear waste. And we've got tons of water. And you notice, and it's a bit of an ad, but I like it, the Bradfield scheme damming the water up in Tully, the Hellfire Dam, I mean just the name turns me and it sounds cool. You dam the water in Tully, and Tully, for those who don't know North Queensland, tons and tons and tons of water flow down from the skies onto Tully in the jungle. We dam it and we send it down through central Queensland. We turn central Queensland from the Great Brown Flat, which it is most of the year, and we're going to create the breadbasket for the world. The water will continue into the Murray-Darling, so there's no shortages in the Murray-Darling, and we actually go into the Murray and then even get as far as South Australia so that boaties can get their boats out of Victor Harbour so everybody wins. Instead of the water in Tully going under the barrier reef, now the greenies, believe it or not, they say, oh, the reef needs to be flushed with fresh water. Yeah, right, okay. This is the lunacy of it, right? But then you put whirlpool power generators along the canals and the pipes that we have. And it's about that wide, and it's a whirlpool, and it generates power, and each one generates enough power for hydro, enough power for a town of about 2,000. Instant power, all day, every day, feeding the land, turning it into a breadbasket for the world. The Australia that we're going to see in 3, 5 and 10 years will be unbelievable. Your grandkids will say, what were you complaining about? Look, it's a land of milk and honey. And you say, come here, son. A few things to explain to you about what life and what life used to be like. This country literally has everything it has. Most of your taxes never goes back into your pockets, or infrastructure goes overseas. You know that. We know there's no law in this country. It's a corporation, and it sends its money overseas. When that money comes in, 2% expenditure tax. Every other tax in the country gone. Everything gone. Yes. You'll get a 102% pay increase on the day that happens. Payroll tax, capital gains tax, fringe benefits tax, income tax, all gone. Why? We don't need it. Not to run the country. To pay the avaricious globalists, yeah, that's why they do that, but for us, no. And as you know, to create wealth, you need 3 things: leadership, capital and labour. Leadership in the form of entrepreneurs in Australia is a natural entrepreneurs. I don't know if you knew that. They're constantly out there doing it. Labour, there's always a good labour force that wants to get a good day's pay for a good day's work. And what they always constrain is capital. They constrain the capital. That's why the taxation is so high, so you don't have the money to do what you want. But once we take the shackles off the people and give you your money back, because it's your money, it's not the government's money, what's this place take off? We're going to now numbers man. He said our $1 trillion economy will double to a $2 trillion economy, which will treble to a $3 trillion economy. You will not believe the wealth this land generates every day of every year. And we can finally control it for ourselves and put it to where we want it to go. We can do things like we can kick out Big Pharma, we can You know, you take all those billions of dollars and just take a fraction of it and have a look at all the natural remedies that are out there that'll cure everything under the sun. As I said, look, there's a great story I tell. I was in WA when I was with the regiment, and I was with a cocky, and he used to run cattle out there. And he said, we were just talking, and he said, my cattle sometimes get cancer on their snouts. And I just imagined that. I said, that must be Rob. He says, not really. You see those weeds growing on the fence line? I said, yeah. Just crack it in half, rub the sap on the snout, the cancer's gone in 2 weeks. There is so much out there that most Australians not even heard of. It sounds like black magic, but it's not. It's just natural remedies. Now, there are crooks and shysters in that end of the business too. Okay, so it's got to be tested for safety and efficacy. But there's any number of things that can be cured almost immediately once we allow nature to do what she was designed to do for us. Does that make sense? The happiest, healthiest, wealthiest country on the planet. That's where we're going. Okay, so when can we start? We already are. See, this stuff doesn't happen. What we're doing, and this is for the A1 supporters here, and we're going to open up shortly with membership, so we get formalised. That's finally happening, and I'm as frustrated as you with the obstacles that have been put in front of us. So even the dog's tired. Is that a go? Where were we? The membership. When membership opens up, no, before that. Maddie, your dog pulled me off, Maddie. Yeah, no, but take one step back. Who was paying attention? Where do we start? Thank you. Great. So we've been building this ark called A1 because the storm's coming and we have to bring people in. Right now we are building it. We are building it. If you think you're just a member of a supporter group, very soon you're going to be the branch leader because we're going to explode in numbers. We're expecting, as soon as membership opens, we're expecting tens of thousands of formal applications. And these people will have to come to an organisation that is ready to go. Does that make sense? Yeah. And so we have already started. The policy documents which we've done are deep and broad. We are not a party, we're just a honking big party that hasn't quite opened its business yet. Does that make sense? And you're going to see policies that will blow your mind. You will love it. And we've never thought of that. And gee, that's a good idea. Well, how about this? And that's why this is the easiest sell I've ever had. Because it's just common sense. It's all the stuff you've been thinking for a long time. Does that make sense? Does that sound true? That's what we're doing. People say, for example, and this will scare some people, but not me, because it creates a very polite society. They say, what about firearms? I say, what about them? What's the policy? Do you have a firearms policy? No, we have a self-protection policy, which allows you to protect yourself. I'm a big fan of equality for women, and nothing equals a woman than the block.
Western.
I want you feeling safe when you walk out at night. Does that make sense?
Yes.
There you go. And what that does is that makes people really polite. Because if you look at the numbers out of the US, not the bollocks coming out of ABC, but if you look at the numbers in the US, the states with the freest firearm policy are the safest in the country. It reduces crime and rape and murder by 90% plus. The states where people are getting whacked every day are the ones with the tightest ones. Only the crooks have got guns and the rest don't. Now, Australia used to have a very mature gun culture. Doesn't anymore because it's been so long. But here's a story that some of you may not have heard, and some of you have, but I love it because it's true. 1982, I joined my first battalion. I graduated as an officer in infantry. Fought the Townsville. The battalion had already deployed to Shoalwater Bay, and I had to catch up with them. Caught up with the sergeant. He said, "Okay, sir, we're off to join the lads at Shoalwater Bay." "No problem, Sarge. What's the drill?" He said, "Get dressed, just normal field kit."
I joined the army in '82 as well.
Go to the airport, didn't have weapons. Serious story, it's true. Take the breech block out. The breech block is part of the mechanism that actually has the firing pin which allows the weapon to fire, makes it useful. Otherwise it's just a stick to beat people with. So we took the breech blocks out, put an envelope, walked across the tarmac fully tooled up, gave the breech blocks to the hostie, and she said, "Welcome on board, gentlemen, just put your weapons above your seat and over here," which we did. Flew down, nobody took a second look at us, no big deal. Landed in Rocky, got the breech blocks back, put them back on the weapon bed off, and went to work. Nobody cared in those days, but thanks to some have been assholes, sorry I shouldn't have said that. And can't even make jokes about that stuff anymore. But we're going to get back to it. Weapon ownership, this isn't about hunting, it's about making sure that those people up there know who's in charge. That is the basis of it.